Yo, what is good, everybody? I hope you all made some good money today. The market's been doing exactly as we expected. As we head into CPI now, I believe CPI will be a pivotal event, so that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. And we're just going to get into it, so make sure to show the video some love, give it a like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So, to start off, we got oil here. Not really too much to say. It's still in this channel that we've been watching. And I said, you can go back to my past two videos. 2-3 videos. I think it's going to be something like this, where if we break to the downside, something like this. So that's sort of what it's doing right now. It's kind of breaking below that support, and it just doesn't look strong in general. So I am kind of leaning to the downside from here, but it's putting up a fight. So I think this is the line in the sand here for oil. If it does that, it's not that much of a fall down to that new low, or that previous low. And below that, it's got room to fall. There's not really any support in this region, as you can see. Mainly looking into this region, there's not really any support all the way down to around 770. So 70. So you could see some nice dropping on oil over the next few days, next few hours, if this starts happening fast. Still just kind of watching it. I really want to see that line get broken for me to say I'm really looking at that downside. So oil, I'm looking for lower, but we'll have to see. Odds are to the downside, but I would like to see that line get broken first. Natural gas, I am praying for that yellow line to get hit. I really want to see that line get hit before I'm bullish. I didn't trust this move completely, and it came right back down. It's really battling this previous low here. All I want is that yellow line to get hit, that 1.618 extension from the previous highs here. So this would be a wave 3. We get a bounce up to, this is a big bounce too. This is like 50%, so it's a really big bounce. So I want to see this yellow line get hit. We're very close to it. It doesn't exactly have to, but odds do point to it getting touched at least. And if it does, I will consider going long in futures. So that's what I'm watching for. I really want to get it. I really want it to get hit, and I think that could happen as soon as tomorrow. US dollar. So I was expecting a bounce last night. This is what I talked about in the Discord a little bit. Now it's a little tricky because the correlation with the US dollar and the markets is when the markets go up, the US dollar goes down and vice versa. And we had dropped already on SPY, or the markets had dropped while the US dollar was dropping, and it's sort of lost that correlation that it used to be, so tightly bound. And it looks like the US dollar is ready for a bounce. I said that yesterday, and it's sort of bouncing, but not as fast as I would like it to. So it's a little confusing. I'm not sure if we can really take much information from the US dollar right now, just because it looks like it should bounce, which would send the market down more, but it's not really moving as it used to with that correlation to the US equities. So DXY, we'll see what it wants to do. I'm kind of looking for more of a bounce here, but I'm not sure of its importance if it does whatever it wants to do. So we'll see what the DXY does and see how it affects the markets, but the past 2 days it really hasn't seemed to matter much. Apple, I've been telling you, I have a bullish bias on this, and it's been moving up nicely. You had those divergences play out where Apple was going down and the MACD was going, it was really just going straight up, kind of. Same with the RSI, and we got that nice reversal. We broke out of this wedge here, reclaimed that support trend line, and there's a gap right here that I don't think is filled yet. Yeah, that's not filled, and you're gonna have some resistance up here. So if it does get up there, it's probably gonna get shot down. It's a pretty big resistance right there, but you never know, it could overshoot that. The big picture to watch is if it can break through this white line right here. If it does that, you could see that 160 gap get filled, and that would be pretty impressive. So to the downside, I'm watching these gaps, but it's back up above support, and it's looking it's looking like it wants to reverse more. So we'll keep an eye on Apple, but I think my bias is still to the upside. We got the bounce I was looking for. Now it's a question of will it continue. Tesla, we got rejected at that region I was expecting to get rejected from. And it's a process. If you want to get higher, it has to go through all these resistances. But we have dropped a lot on Tesla, and you just kind of got to ask yourself, can it do this forever? No, it can't. I'm gonna answer that for you if you don't know the answer. It can't drop forever. That's not how things work. So I would be looking for more upside. It's a process. You had a lot of momentum on this drop, so it's not going to be an instant V recovery. But I would not be surprised if this bounces quite a bit more. The area to break is right here, 125-ish. And if it does that, you could see the 140s to test this supply zone. There will be sellers that come in here, but if it breaks above, you could see quite a decent move to the upside. You got a gap. Got a really small one right here at 178-ish, 177. So I'm looking for upside here. This is going to be a big region, 140s. Amazon, I've been bullish on this too. We've been reversing. We're above this trend line for the first time in a couple of weeks, I believe. So kind of a big area. The trend line that really matters, though, is this blue line right here. If you get above that, you can really start looking at that upside. That's what I've been saying for the past week and a half, 2 weeks or so. So if it breaks this blue line, watch for a big, really a lot of continuation to the upside, because this was quite the move down. There's a lot of consolidated energy in this move that can very easily just shoot this right up. So Amazon, watch that line to get broken. LabVIEW, I was talking about how we were testing this this area that just can't get broken through. And I said, if it doesn't break through, you can come back and test 660, and then from there you could come back up and test this region again, or you could fall down through and test the bottom of that range again. Now it decided to hold 660 and bounce back up. So it's a question: can it break this area? Will it break this area? And if it does, target to 770 to 810. SOXL, it's more importantly, SOXS really putting up a fight at that trend line. It's underneath it, so every time it's been underneath it, it's gotten picked up really, really fast. Interesting spot here. This trend line doesn't really break, but it could. And if it stays under this for too long, you could really see some major pain on the markets if it decides to get that major bounce from this trend line. The VIX, I don't really think anything matters until we get past this apex right here. So January, I think that's next week. Next week is when I would be looking for the actual true direction of this breakout to happen. You got a gap down here. There's more incentive to go to the downside, I think. But it also is a bullish triangle. So, bullish triangles, you have the first touch at the bottom, A, B, C, D, E, and that E touch is when it reverses and breaks out. So, you have incentive to go to the downside, but it's also a bullish triangle, so kind of conflicting factors. I think it's just really important to watch what happens as we get into really into the apex. We're getting really close here. There's only a couple days, so I don't think it's going to be too much longer till the market really has a major, major, major move. And on to SPY. So this has gone exactly according to plan. I'm going to show you some messages from the Discord. And so first off, this was an important line that we bounced off of today. So you can see we were putting up quite a fight this morning. You had a lot of wicks through it. You were trapping a lot of people. You were stopping out a lot of people. So I wouldn't say this is completely bullish yet, because it still needs to prove itself yesterday. So I'm going to show you a message from the Discord now. So in the Discord, you know what I'm talking about if you're in there. So we did that straddle. We sold those. We got out of that position at the top here, and I was looking for a big drop, 386 to 384. Now that's where we got. If in pre-market we went a little lower. In pre-market we went into that range. So the tricky part about this is that I didn't think we would go straight there. So that's why I sold last night, because I was expecting the structure to look like this and not, straight to my target with no bounces. So I sold my short position down there, and I said I was thinking about going long, but I ended up not doing that just because this, I wasn't expected for this straight drop. So I just kind of wanted to see what it wanted to do, and it did get that bounce right back up to my target. So that was that golden pocket. Now because we went lower, the numerical targets were a little higher, or a little lower, but you can see we went right up to that region. That was that target we hit, the golden pocket, and the original thesis was that once we return back up to this golden pocket, well, then we get a major one last move down like this. So it's seriously it's really conflicting news. Now I'm actually just noticing that if that happens, that could put us right back down to the bottom of this range. So zooming back out, you could be coming back into the range too. A fake breakout, but you had a pretty nice test and bounce off of that upper boundary of the channel. So there's some things to consider here, but all in all, there's two scenarios here. So first off, you have this. You got your A down, B up into that golden pocket, which was expected. And the original target was 391 to 392, but that was from when we were at 388. So we went lower down to 385 something, and then we returned up to the golden pocket. So, the plan was to short on the bounce, but I'm not exactly sure yet. So if we don't go down, what's the other path? So the other path is that technically it's possible, because we went to that target, we can continue up from here. Now, I'm not really leaning to this just because we never got a bounce to the downside. There's no corrective structure here, which that's what I'm trying to say. So it's really unlikely, but I think it's smart to leave this on the table. So this move down took us down to the 50%. That's where wave 2 retraces to. So you have your first wave up. Now this, I'm kind of leaving this out of the count for now, but 1, 2, you retrace down to the 50%, and then you get your next wave up. So it feels like it's 50-50 right now. CPI's coming up. What I would like to see is this ABC structure. So you get your A and your B up, which we just got, and then your C down. So that would actually still be valid. That would take us down to 384. So I would really like to see this play out. We get a bounce and then that short, that last wave down, but we'll have to see. It's a very important next few days. You got CPI on Thursday, which I think could be pivotal. And if CPI doesn't turn out as good as it's expected, which honestly, it probably it should be okay, because inflation has been dropping like a rock. So it would make sense for it to come in a lot lower. Oil prices have been falling too, which is a factor that goes into measuring CPI. So this trend line is really important to watch. I think the range to be paying attention to. Well, it's make sure to have this line on your chart first of all. But the range to be holding is, so the maximum this can really go down to is just below 387. So if it starts going towards 387, I would start questioning, even though it's really unlikely we keep going from here anyways, I would really start questioning the upside projection, which I never showed you actually, so I'll do that right now. That would take you up to probably 395 to 400, 401. So you got two regions of incentive. You have a gap up here. That was right here is also my original target from last week, where I said we can see 394 to 396. We got close to 394, but we didn't get to 394. We hit the top of that volume gap though. So, technically 394 got hit. I was basing it off of the top of the volume gap. So 394 was what got hit, and that main point of control where there's going to be a lot of sellers that come in is 396. Right around here, which is also a measured move right here. So 395, if you start moving through that, it could push for 401. But to the downside, you could be coming right back into this channel. So a lot of things to consider here. I might not be trading SPY tomorrow unless I start to see that impulsive structure to the downside. So we're actually going to zoom back in here so I can kind of show you what I saw throughout the day, and what I was kind of counting throughout the day. So right before close, it seems like we had 5 waves to the upside, which would be like, I'm going to draw this out. So wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right into that golden pocket that we were talking about. So I gotta put on extended hours. So yeah, the bottom of that range, golden pocket. So it's a little interesting with after hours. It's a little wonky, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. If we start holding above 391, this region here. So this is another region that I would be watching to the upside, right below 392. So you can see that that's kind of in a liquid region where bulls might want to test, see how we react up there. But there's a lot of things to consider here. I don't think today is the best day to trade unless there's a lot of volatility. I think people are just going to be waiting on that CPI number. So I will probably be sitting tomorrow out unless I see that impulsive structure to the downside start moving, or start forming, which would take us towards 384. And if it doesn't, if I don't see that, I'm just going to sit out, be watching natural gas and oil. So that's where I'm going to leave this video. I believe I told you guys everything you really do need to know. And we'll see how tomorrow goes. So peace out, guys.